When I heard it, I was surprised actually because I thought, well, um, I just didn't expect that to happen. And have have Roma been watching us? Have Roma been watching what's been going on? Well, yeah, and also they're seventh. They don't have a big budget, I don't think, at Roma, do they? So they're quite, but way behind other sides in Serie A. And yeah, just a bit of a weird one. And a few of the sound bites that he came out with when he took the job today just sounded like exactly the same ones that he spouted when he joined Tottenham. So I don't know. Maybe it's more suited to him. Maybe Italian football, being it's more defensive, is more suited to Jose. He was very
Well,
successful there before, wasn't he?
it's interesting that that you mention the sound bites and the lack of a budget at Roma and everything because like I read earlier today, and I don't know how accurate this is, that Roma haven't won a title or a trophy since 2008.
Oh,
So,
really?
so he's going. Is he going to Italy to try and achieve what he couldn't achieve in the
Yeah.
Premier League? Like our Roma, the Italian version of Spurs, and he's going to prove I can do it. I can do it at Spurs. I'm
Maybe.
doing it at Roma.
I
Doing it at
guess
Roma
Roma are a
Spurs.
bit like a Spurs, aren't they? Yeah, yeah. God,
So yeah, so interesting stuff. So
yeah,
okay, well, good luck to him there.
yeah. Why
Interesting,
not? Yeah,
but I mean, I won't be following his results. I won't be following his
no.
results.
Or his
I think
interviews. Yeah.
that'll be in next season. Like now that he's announced, and obviously summer we'll have him off. Like so, it's only what a month. We'll have him off the payroll.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, instead of paying 30 million, we're paying 3 million. So
Well, well, a lot of that was down to the league position as well, wasn't it? So
yeah,
the league
it
position had
was.
a lot to
Yeah,
when we got rid of him, and then
yeah.
and now he's got a new job, and we haven't got to pay even half of what we had to pay for Gardner in the
No,
league. So
exactly. Yeah, that's right. Perfect.
good, working out to be a really good day. So
Yeah.
yeah. So okay. So quick stuff. So you wanted to talk about supporters trust.
Yeah, the supporters trust had a new statement today. I don't know whether you got a chance to read it, but they've kind of reiterated a few points, and they've got like a 6 point plan
Yeah.
where they've basically called on the owners to work with them to constitute a new board and lead us into a new era. They want to put so point one is they want to put distance between the club and the decision to break away by replacing the current board, and they feel that this is a first step to rebuilding trust between the board and the people, the supporters, etc. Now, this is totally flawed, isn't it? Surely, how can you ask the owner, who is Levy and of course Joe Lewis,
Mm.
to not be the board? I mean, that's just ridiculous. Um, that just doesn't work on any level. I don't even know what they're expecting to happen with that.
Well, surely their requirements are clear, Andy. They're expecting the
Their
board to step down.
requirements are clear, but I'm not entirely sure what they expect as an outcome. Because as a director of a
But, they, but, they,
company, and it's a private
but, they,
company, they can do whatever they want.
but I mean, their required outcome is clear, isn't it? They expect the board to stand down. They've made that as a condition.
If those are their expectations, then they're going to be sorely disappointed, aren't they?
Well, I don't know. I mean, what I'd like to understand is is what do they perceive to be the next steps if the if these requirements or these demands are not met. and to what level. I mean, what I started to read some of it. The part that I got to was that, you know, that the board, like Levy had offered a full board to full board meeting,
Yeah,
with the trust, and
it was
they've turned
apparently
that
an
down.
informal one.
Okay.
Yeah, the supporters trust have kind of come out with quite a few excuses why they didn't go to that, which I still don't fully buy, because why wouldn't you go to it? Even if you can't report back for legal reasons to your members what was said, you can still go to it. You can still have those conversations, and you can still keep dialogue open.
Yeah.
Whereas what they're saying here is, you, the board, we don't want to deal with you anymore. We want you to be replaced, and then we'll start talking to you as long as you put a fan representative on your board.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to happen. That's unrealistic. You can't expect that to happen at all. And even though in the, their best case scenario, that was to go ahead, would it still even be workable? Levy would still be an owner of Tottenham Hotspur, because he's a shareholder of ENIC, and he would have a say in what goes on in the club. And you could just see issues with that.
But I mean, was there a point about diluted share ownership as well so just talk me through that, what your knowledge of that is for me, please.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just picked it up on this statement. So I think the idea was that there is more, there's going to be like a share option for fans to buy shares into the club. But who's going to release those shares? And they wouldn't have any voting rights anyway. I mean, this is all pie in the sky stuff.
It all sounds good, though.
It sounds good. It sounds like a decent plan, but why would ENIC give up any of their shares? I think there's only one active, significant shareholder in Tottenham Hotspur, and that is Daniel Levy.
Yeah.
Or ENIC, if you like.
Yeah.
Whereas the other two board members, Donna Cullen and is it Caldicott, I think they are active directors but not shareholders, so they're just salary paid.
Yeah, I mean, so it's interesting. I think, I kind of agree with you that the major flaw that I see in this is that they refuse to keep dialogue open in the first instance.
Yeah,
with
I totally agree.
And the board. I think, if you keep dialogue open, then all of these requirements and all of these these requests that you have, you can vocalize that. You can let all your members know this is what we're looking for. This is what we want to do, and we've still got that forum to talk to the board directly, like we've always had, and we can put those demands to them directly, and hopefully make some kind of progress on that, rather than just saying, well, actually, we refuse to talk to you, but here are our demands, and we're not going to talk to you until those demands are met. It doesn't, that for me doesn't make, and I have to be honest, I haven't read all of the stuff again. I mean, I read the first one. I haven't read it all again, but it doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't. It doesn't. What also doesn't make sense is that what they really want to do is to have a chat with the club owners to implement this 6-point plan, which is Levy.
Yes.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So, although, as you say, there might be some good kind of sounding ideas in here, it just doesn't make any sense at all, and it's unworkable. So, and as you quite rightly said, what would be their steps if they don't achieve this? So would they be looking to take some other course of action, or is it just all about rallying the troops and hoping that people just stand out side the stadium shouting their heads off every game?
Well, yeah, I
Because
mean, and
that's probably
that,
what it's going to end up like.
well, yeah, and as you say that, I mean, there are two at the moment. There are two demonstrations or whatever you want to call it,
Yep.
fan demonstrations due to take place. I think one was on the 15th and one was on the 16th. I think the 15th was because I think that was the day that they thought we were playing.
That's right.
And then obviously it was changed, or the game was, it was realised that the game was on the 16th. So
yeah.
But that now both sides of organising these demonstrations are having a go at each other about which is the most appropriate day to, and why are you doing it, and why, just, I mean, if you're serious about this, I mean, like, I'm not someone for demonstrating. Sorry, that's not me. But if you're serious about it, then don't argue with each other. Just say, right, well, actually, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to achieve?
Yeah.
You're trying to achieve some kind of visibility. Then be visible on the day that there's actually going to be people there. And that day is going to be on the 16th. So the people that were going to go on the 15th, just, eat a bit of humble pie and say, do you know what? We got the date wrong. We wanted to do it when Tottenham were playing. So we're going to change our date to the 16th and be done with it. Why would you have to argue about stuff like that just to save a bit of credibility? It makes no sense.
I think a lot of it is people are just quite angry with the ownership. This is what it's really all about. They're angry with the ownership. I don't think half of this is to do with the ESL at all. I think it's more to do with levy out people just jumping on the bandwagon.
But isn't that the same as that? Isn't that the same as Man United?
Yeah, it is.
They're apparently they're angry with the ownership, but the owners have been in place for 16 years.
Yeah,
and they've had 16 years to really put on to demonstrations and get stuff like that. But because they've been sold a dream or sold this detail around the ESL and how bad the ESL is and how it was going to ruin and finish football.
Yeah,
everyone suddenly jumped. There's this call to arms by a football club owner, by Gary Neville, a football club owner who saw his potential issues with around, first of all, his job, around the money he was making from his job, and also secondly around the way him as a manager is bankrolling his club up the leagues. But apparently that's fine. So it's fine for him to do that through the Football League. It's fine for Man City to do that, to win the Premier League for years, all the domestic trophies for years, to bankroll their way to try and win the Champions League, and to keep doing that until they win the Champions League. And prior to that, for Chelsea to do the same.
Yeah.
What is the difference between that and these other clubs now trying to balance out the odds against these two clubs by, with the Super League? The method of the Super League was wrong, right? Wrong.
Totally wrong.
But the idea behind it was to try and remove some of the imbalance of clubs like Man City and Chelsea.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And interestingly, go on.
Well, I was just gonna say that Man City and Chelsea, of course, did choose to take part in the ESL, and they didn't need to because they've got loads of money. They're not doing it for the money. So it was interesting why they did take part, and I think we're yet to hear and see what the ESL concept was all about. Because although it looked like an incredibly badly thought out thing, and it was, I just feel also that it will re-emerge itself because I think these clubs want control. Ultimately, that's their idea.
But I mean, we're getting very close to the end, so I'll wrap this up quickly. But I understand that the Premier League have passed a rule now to stop the Super League.
I saw that
taking place or something.
Yeah.
So
to preserve their own,
exactly, to preserve their own self-interest, and people just go, okay, that's great. Why didn't the Football League? Why didn't the Football League all those years ago, in 1990,
do the same.
1989, whatever, pass a rule to say that you can't break away into your own sub-league where you're gonna, where you get your own TV rights deals and make yourself super rich.